Hello, everybody, and welcome to oppcon. This is Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age. We're the cast of Dork Tales, and we're very excited to be streaming on Travis's channel tonight, this morning. It's very early for us, actually. And we are joined by a special guest who you probably have read some of their stuff over on Storyteller's Path. But, Storyteller's Vault, what am I saying? Path. I'm your storyteller, Kelly. I use he and him as my pronouns, and I'm very excited to be joining all of you here on this morning and running a Victorian era game of Mage the Ascension set in New York City. Around the turn of the century. A couple of things real quick. Onyx Path is a fantastic company, and this is a fantastic convention. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're checking out Curseborn, where you can see a fantastically bad character that I play. You definitely want to check him out. But also, if you like what we do here, be sure to follow us back to Dork Tales, where you can see a ton of Victorian era Mage and so much more over at YouTube, Twitch, or wherever you get your podcasts. Before I introduce the players, I do want to say this game does have some content warnings that I should probably warn you about. There's going to be violence, alcoholism, Victorian era drug use. There is also going to be child endangerment and potential violence and death. If any of these things are not up your alley, or you are not in a place where you can handle those today, please. This stream will be here. It'll be up on YouTube later. You can always come back when you're more comfortable, or you can skip to one that is a little more to your tastes. And with that, let's meet our cast. Let's start over on my left with Christine. Hi, Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and today I get to play Lucy Gibbons. Who is just dyed-in-the-wool Irish witch.
We get a lot of Irish witches in our Victorian era games.
Well,
I'm excited to see.
She might know a certain Darcy. Might be somewhere in the family line.
Fair.
She's got a red hint to her brown hair.
This is true. This is true. Next to you, we have Amy.
Hi, that's me. I'm Amy. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I'm playing Florentia, or Flory Davis, who is a dream speaker. Can you say anything more than that?
Fantastic.
We're good?
Yeah,
Cool.
you haven't played a dream speaker since our LARPing days.
It's been a hot
this is kind of fun
second.
to see you back.
Yeah.
It's been a hot second. Down beneath you, speaking of certain Irish witches, we've got Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns. I'm also second-gen gamer in the Twitch chat. And today I am not playing a certain Irish witch, and I am instead playing a Mabel Watterson. Oh, it says Watson on the thing. I'm now Mabel Watson. And she, yeah, I know. She is a member of the Electrodyne Engineers, Etherites, kind of crossing over. She is working on her PhD down in New York, but she got her bachelor's and master's up in Canada and may know a certain Dr. Taylor.
I like that you guys just traded characters.
We did.
So one more thing before we begin, and I pass over to Astra, that is that we are running with an alternate timeline where the Electrodyne engineers have started to jump ship a bit early before the revilement of ether in 1905. So we're somewhere around 1900, where there's a little bit of a trickle out. They're seeing the writing on the wall and are heading toward the door just because people like to play Etherites. And last but not least, we've got our special guest for today, and that's Astra. Hey, Astra.
Hello, I'm Astra, she, they pronouns. Today I'll be playing Alistair Gray, a member of the Order of Hermes. A little bit of falling out with my family back in England, so I'm also in New York today. And I'm going to be trying to do a very terrible British accent, so apologies in advance to anyone who is actually from the UK.
It's fine. It's just Matthew Dawkins, and we're all about hurting his feelings. I'm gonna get a message later about that. So folks, we're gonna be hopping in just one sec. Before we do, I want to ask players, since this is set in New York, we are going to be running this kind of by the seat of our pants. My knowledge of New York is strictly based on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Alienist, so it's kind of a mixed bag. That said, does anybody have any backgrounds or things that I should be aware of? I know all your spheres, I know your abilities, but Christine, before this, you were saying that you had a point of spies for a urchin spy network.
I do. So I took a point of spies in order to have like a bit of a knowledge network more than anything. So not specifically giving them clear tasks, but more like I will trade a bit of money or a bit of candy or something to some of the kids who run around the streets and like the newsboys and stuff to find out what's going on among the neighborhood / the richer people, so that I have some info in order to run my grift.
Fantastic. And then you also have an assistant for your grift. That is, what's his name?
John Skinner.
Fantastic. Is there anything else on your backgrounds that I should know? You've got a bit of money.
I have some resources, and I have a point of arcane.
All right, sounds
so
good.
So that basically just allows me to fade into a crowd. I don't have one where you will forget about me.
It actually adds to all of your stealth rolls, so yes. It should be good.
But it's mainly the kind of I can fade into a crowd type level.
Perfect. Next to you, Amy, do you have any backgrounds that I should be aware of?
Yeah, probably. So I have 1 dot in Node and a dot in Sanctum.
Okay.
Which is basically just her hovel back, like, crafting area. Because she's like a sort of a Stitch Witch type, or like her weaving room. Did you want me to bring up any merits and flaws that might be relevant?
You can drop them as we go, but I want to ask real quick, put up your hand if you have the curious flaw. Hey, we found our shit disturbers. That is fantastic. Actually, if you want in our private chat to list your merits and flaws for me, everybody, just so that I have quick access to them without having to reload all of your sheets, sure. That would be fantastic. So Amy, is that all your backgrounds that I need to be aware of? Unless there's something fancy about Avatar 4, then no, do you have Manifest Avatar? No. Okay, then your avatar's not particularly pushy, but that might help in the future. Remind me when things get weird later that you have Avatar 4. Robin, what do you have in terms of backgrounds?
Okay, so I like just on a side tangent with that, I was looking at what kind of chemistry degrees were offered in the Victorian era, and I found a paper about strange compositions, chemistry and its occult history in the Victorian speculative fiction by someone from my university degree. So I was like, wow, funny. weird roundabout way. Anyways, for backgrounds, I have Avatar 3, I have Hypercram 3 / Dream 3. So, I figured Dream 3, yeah. I figured I'm like changing over to the technocracy, so I probably have a few like backgrounds from technocracy kind of stuff as well. I have Influence 1, so I have a well-known reputation amongst my peers in my community, so I figured it would be in the university. I am currently working on my PhD, so I probably am well known by my professors and other like lab TAs, so I don't have laboratory as a background, but I figured that might potentially gain access to it every once in a while when it's convenient, not necessarily on my schedule, but so I have Influence and I have Resources 2 as well. So I am I'm fairly comfortable living in New York. I figured I have a base flat, not living in like a house that has like a boarding house. I figured I probably actually have my own flat, which is full of various lab equipment and little mini lab setup. And merits, pretty. I'll put them in the chat, but my 2 interesting flaws are prone to quiet and flashback. So have fun.
All right, prone to quiet and flashbacks. That is fantastic. And Astra, what do we have from you coming in for your backgrounds?
The main ones are alternate identity, and my library. So I have a fairly significant library with me that I brought over from the UK. And then I also have contacts. I figure it was probably the head librarian at the Library of New York. And then also Blessing, which I have a strange knack that when I reach for a book that I own or I'm looking for something in one of my reference books, it just happens to pop into my hand to the right place, the right page.
Grad student's blessing. Nice. And I also noticed that you have the flaw echoes. What What were you thinking that would manifest as?
I think is the sort of thing where, because I also have hyperfocus, it's the sort of thing that there's always kind of flickering out at my periphery of figures and voices. So I always feel like there are a bunch of people around that may or may not be there.
Fantastic, and that's kind of distracting. All right, so with that done, the only thing that I need to do, Christine, please roll me your willpower.
What's the difficulty on this again?
Ooh, I believe it's 6, but I'm double checking that right now because Christine took nightmares. What level do you have it at? Oh, pardon me, 7.
What?
Actually, pardon me, what level is it?
3. I think it's the only option now.
No, it's a 1 or 3 point.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, I took 3.
Difficulty 7, please.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay, so you were able to sleep through some nightmares last night. All right. So, does anybody have any questions before we begin? Perfect. That's what I love to hear. So, welcome to Mage, the Victorian Age. This is New York, 1899. We cut in on a small shop front there near the 5 Points. Lucy, this is where you operate your little seances and rituals out of. Can you describe what it looks like for me?
So I think her shop is set, well, it's more of like a normal looking building. It's not really like advertised as a shop, and people just know where to go. So I think it's fairly dark, potentially has a bit of a recessed doorway so that people, because like rich people don't necessarily want to be caught hanging out in the lower part of town or going into buildings in the lower part of town. So she has it set up so that they can kind of be a bit hidden. So it's a little bit, maybe more of a side entrance, a little bit recessed. And inside it is kept dark, not so dark that you can't see around, but lots of like soft carpet, lots of layers, because of like the top one looks nicer, but all the under ones are threadbare, but they provide a really soft touch and muffle sound, and lots of draping and stuff like that to make a really like witchy seance type space that's moody.
Well, it is near the end of your day. You haven't had very many bites at all. And at dusk, which honestly, normally, if you had managed to pull in a few more clientele in advance, or Skinner, your assistant, had been able to go and acquire some more leads, you would have a very busy evening. But tonight, you are having some of your cabal mates over. And as you are going and probably putting out several of the candles, there is going to be a knock at your front door. Can you please describe Lucy as you answer the door?
So Lucy is about 5'4", and pale skin, a little smattering of freckles, and kind of light medium brown hair. Kind of half pulled back. She's in her probably working outfit, which is a bit more in the blacks and like fanciful type clothing. But she's probably pulled a knitted shawl over, and is a little bit wild and loose at the moment to fit the image that she's trying to sell.
Okay. As you open the door, you are going to get a gust of wind that carries in some of the dried leaves from the early autumn day. And out on your porch are a pair of, well, one of them is definitely a young lady, but the other one would not necessarily be seen as such at a quick glance. Can Flory and Alistair describe themselves, please? Let's start with Flory.
Okay, sure. So Flory is blonde with curly hair that is not quite as neatly tied back as it probably should be for the era, and is just wearing very, very plain, casual, like simple clothing. and probably has a bit of like smudged on her face and maybe a little bit of dye like on her hands.
Okay. And next to you is Alistair. Astra, please describe Alistair for us.
Alistair is a middling build, kind of medium brown hair, a little sallow, but generally not the kind of person who would stand out in a crowd, the kind of person that your eye just kind of glances over, but very nicely dressed. The clothes are well cut, good quality, somebody that clearly has at least some money, or at least had some money, and very well put together, very well turned out, leaning slightly on a cane, but more of an affectation than any sort of practical need.
Fantastic. All right, so Lucy opens the door for you. How do you greet each other? What do you do?
Well, we're all familiar with each other already, correct?
Absolutely. You're cabal mates. You've worked with each other in the past, if only out of necessity, perhaps solving crimes. The name Fifth Avenue Irregulars has been suggested by Discordian Nest in the chat.
Cute.
So I kind of like it, but...
Well, is that for us, or was that for my spy network? Because I think it was the set around that time.
Oh, fair.
My paper boys.
Fine. 5 points cabal. All right. Either way, you do know each other and have worked together in the past on various occult and arcane doings around New York City. I'm never gonna stop.
Flory, Alistair, please come in.
Lucy, nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Let me just turn off add some lighting. She'll probably hustle you through the kind of little antechamber and then front room, which is where she does her stuff, and into the back where her actual living quarters are.
I think if this is a habit of kind of hustling us through, Alistair will try to kind of slow pace and take in as much of it as he can as they go through.
I think more of a hustle in that it's kind of whatever. It's so overdone and silly looking for what she actually likes or thinks about, that she's just it's such a it's a picture more than anything and not her.
So
sorry, I have a plane going.
Anything interesting tonight? Or today? At all today?
No works today. But I got some things done.
Do
I
tell.
think Flory's looking kind of nervous and also is just going to kind of go find a chair.
I think Lucy will go and put the water on and try and heat up a little for tea or whatever beverage everybody wants.
You head into the back room and begin lighting the stove and starting the kettle. Before long, the normal inhuman wails that you would hear inside of this establishment, probably played through various pipes or vents in the floor by Mr. Skinner.
Oh yeah, there's those old-fashioned, we had to kind of rip this place apart a little bit, but those old-fashioned speaking tubes, one goes into a couple places in the room, and you just have a gramophone sitting there, and he just has to set it playing carefully so it doesn't screech. And
well, instead, you hear the howl of a kettle screaming, and as that goes off, it is going to echo through the front room. Another reason why you usher your friends through so quickly, so that they don't have to hear that atrocious noise echoing through, the sound of banshees. And it is that time that into the cold and wind of the dusky New York Eve, Mabel, would you arrive in a cab? Would you arrive in
no, she probably took I'm thinking it's what's our public transportation
I believe
is
they had
available?
streetcars at that point in New York, actually.
Streetcars? Cat. So yeah, she would have definitely arrived in a streetcar, probably realized she was late, and is running very haphazardly, like hair starting to like fall out of her bun because she would have had her hair back for lab experiments, and she probably would have looked at the time, realized she was late for this meeting that they were having, and booked it out as fast as she could from the university. So she's going to be running very frantically, just everything askew. She's the smartest woman in the university, but she has terrible time management because, you know, ADHD, undiagnosed.
Fair enough. Well, ADHD doesn't exist in the 1800s or the 1900s
Exactly.
or the 2000s.
Yeah.
It didn't exist until TikTok, according to most people. But as you make your way there, and I did check, the streetcars did exist. The Harlem line actually just recently merged with another line, and will be shut down in like 20 years thanks to the advent of the mass production of the automobile. It's I took many classes on this in university.
Nice.
Remember what they took from us? Trains. All right, so you head out, and as you are kind of rushing up the front steps of this building, or you said down an alleyway, didn't you? Kind of tucked out of the way?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, just a little like off to the side, maybe has a side entrance, a little recessed, that sort of thing. Just so it's a little like you could get dropped off and be out of sight pretty quickly.
Okay, so as you are headed down that side area, you are going to hear this inhuman wailing coming from inside of the building that sounds, well, actually, can you do me a favor? So what I would like is we're going to do something really basic, because you are going to make me a willpower roll at difficulty 6.
Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. As you reach the door handle and place your hand on it to give it a wriggle before a knock, because why wouldn't it be unlocked, of course, with that undiagnosed ADHD, you are going to hear that screaming whistle from inside, and for just a moment, you are going to be transported back. Now, were you raised wealthy?
Yes, because she's a woman of science, so she would have probably had a doctor. Her dad was a doctor, and she was the only child. So, and when she had an aptitude for high intelligence, her father convinced her to go into science.
You were brought back to a moment when you were younger, where your father had been taken over to Ellis Island. He took you there for the day while he was doing immigrant screenings. And as he was doing it, you remember that there was some sort of panic that occurred. Someone knifed someone in the line, someone pulled a gun or something, and there was a whistle from one of the constables that was monitoring the situation right in your ear, a whistle over and over as the crowd stampeded toward you and your father and almost crushed you. And that whistle for a moment just takes you back before you compose yourself and get on with your day.
Lucy, I'm late. I'm sorry, Lucy.
Lucy, you will hear a frantic banging from across the house.
Well, I think that's Mabel. And she'll go duck out and go open the door for Mabel.
All right. Mab will be waiting just outside.
Sorry, Spearmint got away from me at the time. I took the streetcar as fast as I could. I hope I'm not too late. I'm sorry.
She'll kind of take you by the arm and pull you through.
You managed to get Mabel across the house and to your living quarters, where you can hear that the kettle has been taken off of shriek mode, and probably Flory has begun pouring into a teapot. And it is at that moment that you are going to hear at your front door. You were not expecting another person, and Skinner has his own key. Unless he drunkenly forgot it again.
We'll go check.
All right. Do you have a way to look without opening the door?
I feel like that is something that she would need to have to make sure of what sort of vibe she's supposed to put on.
Fair. So glancing out from either a peephole or from a side window, you are going to see that there is a woman on your front steps. She looks somewhat disheveled, but is dressed in... She's dressed in expensive clothing. Long ruffled skirt, a little pillbox hat. She's clutching a pair of white gloves in her hand and kneading them with some trepidation.
Okay. I think... Does she recognize her at all?
You do not.
Okay. Lucy's going to pull her shawl up around a bit more to kind of hide her outfit a little bit more and make her look like maybe like a servant or something. And kind of then open the door and... Hello, ma'am?
Oh. Hello there. Are you the psychicer?
I do work here, ma'am. What do you need?
I need you to tell your lady that I need to see her at once. It's a matter of most grave importance. Well, go on.
Here. If you'd like to sit in the anteroom, I'll go get her. And, like, she'll just quickly duck back through, putting out candles through the space and, like, doing, like, the mood lighting. Go to the guys, working. Take off, flip around, pull, like, a black veil over. And then I think she has a little, like, cord rigged, so when John's not here, she can open the door spookily into the space.
True. But who's going to run any of the equipment from the side room? You do have one-way mirrors and peepholes inside of portraits from your landing.
She's gonna hope that she doesn't have to do a full-on seance yet. She can probably pull, like, make it wait and, like, take time to prep because it's not the right hour of the night and it's not the right moon and etc., if she needs to.
Okay.
Question. So this is we're your cabal, right?
Yes.
Have you had to do this in before where we've actually had to help run the stuff? Just
Probably.
Like in a pinch? Okay.
At least one of you has probably had to do it and know what she does.
Yeah. Okay.
But in the meantime, she's gonna she doesn't know yet what this person wants, if they actually want a seance or they're trying to get like a reading or something. So she's gonna try and like keep the proper persona going first.
All right. So you go and tell them all that, and all of you from the back room, there are a bunch of holes just like drilled in the side of the wall there that you can peek through the eye holes of portraits and things like that.
Got like little bits of curtain around so that you can kind of have your head under without like light streaming through.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that. All right. As you are headed back out to the main room, can I get you to make me a perception and alertness roll? Everybody can make the roll. Christine, you're going to be right in this woman's space, so give it to me at a difficulty of 7. Everyone else, give it to me at a difficulty of 9 because you are perceiving through like tiny holes and things like that.
So my acute senses, I chose sight for looking at like chemical reactions and things like that. Where is it? Sorry, let me just pull up my acute senses.
I believe you get -2 difficulty. It's either -2 or 2 extra dice.
2-point reduction.
Okay, so give it to me at 7 as well.
And I will point out that this works really well, the space for Lucy, because she has night sight, so she can see perfectly well in dim lighting. Whereas the other people in the space cannot see very well because she has the lighting very low.
Give it to me at a 6 then.
Okay, that makes it 3.
And Astra, because you don't play World of Darkness games, and in fact, this is your first Mage game. So if you're not familiar with the system, the way that it works is you roll a number of dice equal to the traits that I mentioned. You are looking, when I say for a difficulty, for that number and above. Each one counts as what's called a success, and it looks like you have 3. Wow, fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, and Amy fails. Okay. So, looking through some of the eye holes, and as you head out, you are all going to see that she is quite besought. Makeup is not particularly popular in this day and age, and so it's not that you can see her mascara running, but her hair is disheveled. You are going to see that in the tight bun that she has pulled back, she is a woman, perhaps 25, 26 at the oldest. Her hair is pulled into a tight bun, but if it was let out, it would probably be kind of a straw blonde color, and almost to about the length of her calves. Like, she has a massive head of hair that is up in a massive bun. However, the thickness of that hair has in it embedded several sticks, leaves, and other things that it looks like she was probably not particularly careful to remove. She's very distracted. You'll also see that there are water stains on the hem of her dress, and as she walks in, there is, for those of you who got more than 2 successes, the soft squelching, as if her boots were still drying. However, those of you who, Christine, you got 2 successes and you're in the room with her.
I actually ended up with 3 because of the extra bonus.
Oh, did you? Perfect. So 3 successes and above, you are also going to be really, really easily able to detect the sour scent of alcohol bleeding through her skin. She has definitely enjoyed probably a pint of gin today, which is a little much even for the Victorian era.
So when Lucy pulls the little string handle to allow the door to open, she will use a different voice to kind of call her in, and something along the lines of like, "Come, child, what aid do you need?" Something very deep and kind of like darker sounding.
What name do you use for your professional persona?
Oh God.
Madam
something or other.
Madam, that's an odd one, but
like,
I'll take it.
I was thinking of this earlier and I didn't come up with anything because I was like, I didn't want to go too cliche. Like,
Madam Toll.
Sorry?
Madam Toll. No? Oh, too bad. I like that one.
Yeah.
Madam Wild, Madam Lane, Madam Scarlet, Madam...
Let's go with Wild.
Let's go with Wild? Okay.
Yeah, that works.
So Madam Wild is your alternate persona. So she will grasp her handbag and will head into the room. You're Madam Wild.
That's correct, child.
You speak to the spirits and can find stuff?
I can see if the spirits will aid you.
Well, how much does that cost?
She probably has a set of prices that she uses. I just haven't thought of any yet.
So
but she'll kind of dance around it a little bit with, like, depending on the request, depending on what's needed, what we need to do to entreat the spirits type thing. She'll have a whole, like, to make it not quite as obvious this is just a money grab, because that's going to ruin the mystery and immediately she's going to look like a fraud very quickly.
Fair. She's going to sit down rather frumpily, like just in a hurry, and is going to reach into her pocketbook, unclipping it. You tell the spirits that I need their aid, and I need it right now. And I've got She leafs through her pocketbook, and you're amazed that she made it this far without getting mugged. 1 bill, after 2 bills, after 3 bills, is that a 5? She slaps down $46 onto the table. Using an inflation calculator, which is always correct with no accounting for anything else, that's $1,719.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, in modern 2020 dollars. And yes, I know that inflation doesn't work that way, but yeah. Anyway.
She will kind of lean forward and push the money to the side slightly and take hold of her hands and, now, child, what has happened? You are desperate. Help me commune with the spirits. Help me connect you with them.
Is this all discreet?
Of course. Did you not find me only by word of mouth? Nothing is posted anywhere.
And none of this good gets back. None of your spirits are particularly chatty?
Not at all.
I'm Ruby Egerton. My husband is Alan Egerton. The real estate man. I need the spirit's help. Alan's traveling out of town right now, and our stupid Irish bug of a housekeeper skipped out on us. She was normally supposed to watch Ed, and then I had to watch him. So, I mean, what do you do with a 6-year-old? So, I took him to Central Park. And then I don't remember. It was cold, so I had a little sip of, to warm my bones. And then he was gone. And the next thing I knew, I was wet, and he was nowhere to be found. And his father comes back soon.
Lucy is going to turn on what she can do to see auras and stuff around her, to see spirit. So she has 1 dot of spirit, just enough to see like an aura and type kind of thing that might be hanging around her. So if there's something that's really drawn to her right now, that might help give her a hint of what's going on. If this was just, she got blackout drunk in the park and lost her kid, or something actually happened.
Why don't you go ahead? We're going to make an Rattray roll. So this is the first magic roll of the game. You are going to be, it's a really basic one. So Spirit 1 plus 3, because it's a really, I'm going to say coincidental, but that's not what they call it in Victorian times. But this is a very mundane effect. So give it to me at difficulty of 4, please.
That's 3 successes.
3 successes. All right. So Spirit 1 allows you to see her aura as well as spirits, something like that? Like just kind of lingering about her?
Spirit sight, spirit sense, ability to perceive the world of spirits. The mage can see auras, see the strength of the gauntlet, even peek through into the penumbra. They can also see if an object has an awakened spirit or is a fetish. So I'm hoping that can give me a little sense if there's anything hanging around her, or something like maybe tainting her a little bit. You
know what? I will say that looking at her aura, you are going to see that she is still very intoxicated. She is panicked. And there is something kind of strange lingering about her.
Okay.
Something is not quite right. Looking at the hues and mottled shapes of her aura, you are going to see that she is very panicked, but she is not remorseful.
Okay.
And as you look at the lines of intoxication milling through, you are going to see they kind of glitter slightly, which is strange. You have no idea what that means, but you're thinking that something darker is at work here.
can I start pulling out like some of the paraphernalia type stuff, like the tarot cards and things like that, and switch to Prime Sight to see if there's any other magic affecting her?
You absolutely may. Go ahead and give me that roll again. Difficulty 4.
3 successes.
There is absolutely no magic about her.
Okay.
At least no awakened magic.
Interesting.
It could be any number of things, but it's nice to know what it's not, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Alistair is watching through the peepholes of one of these portraits. Do I need to be closer in order to use some of my arete?
Well, it depends how your spells work. So what were you thinking of doing?
I'm thinking of, because I have 2 points of the time sphere, I was wondering if I could kind of look into her past to see if I can see any of what happened.
You absolutely can do that as range, so long as you can perceive her. So how would they go about doing that? Is it just like an incantation, a spell? Do you just need to like look through like a gem? Do you have some type of oil? Like, what's the hermetic practice for this?
I think that there are a number of rings that Alistair wears, with each one being kind of tied to one of the spheres, and it's a kind of turning around the finger to activate that sight.
Sounds good. So what you're going to do is take your arete and roll it at a difficulty of 5, because you're using a level 2 sphere. And this is pretty mundane. Now, quick reminder to everybody, you have willpower points. They can be spent on any roll for 1 automatic success, maximum of 1 spend per turn.
Okay. So I have one die per arete point, right?
1 die per arete point. You're looking for 5s and up.
I have 1 success.
Cool. One other thing, we use a house rule in this table, where if you roll a 10 on magic, it always re-rolls for more 10s, and so on. So if you ever roll, we like big magic effects here. So you got 1 success. So glancing through there, you're turning, and when in her timeline, are you just trying to get a quick glimpse back to when? Well, when are you looking for? I guess is the question I should be asking.
Because we were overhearing her telling the story about being in Central Park, so I'm trying to see through the point where she was like, and then she woke up and the child was gone. So I'm kind of trying to like look at that scene from her experience.
So looking at it from her experience, the beautiful thing about time is that you're not looking at it from her experience, you're looking at it from the experience of the timeline. It's even better. So as you are using that, you're going to get a glimpse back, and you are going to jump back to her standing in... can you do me a favor and make me an intelligence and streetwise roll? And let's do this at a difficulty of 7.
A 7?
Yes.
Is my target?
Your target
that
is
is
7.
5 successes.
Holy crap, you spend a lot of time in Central Park. You are going to see that she is standing in the Harlem Meer. Meer. It is a large lake, pond lake, along East Drive, near future what would be called Malcolm X Boulevard, but she's in North Central Park is where she lost this kid. And she is standing basically at, it's that, I'm pretty sure that building is, 1 second, I don't know New York, and I set this in New York. I'm very smart. That is the Lasker Pool and Rink area. So she is standing right to the north of the Lasker Pool, which is a rather famous landmark. The Lasker Pool is the one that basically she's standing just north of where all of the ice skating in movies happens. However, it's not quite that season yet. So she is standing there and kind of looking dumbly to the north. And as you are watching this, you're going to get a brief recollection of her dumbly walking north from kind of the southwest. But with 5 successes on Streetwise, you are going to know that it looks like she was walking toward the lake along this route called the Loch, which is this little waterway creek that nobody knows about. It literally, way to bypass part of the plot there, Astra. Literally, it is a hidden gems of Central Park in 2024. So she looks like she was walking from that direction, kind of with a dumb expression on her face. But that is what you're going to gather with 1 success before your time sight goes.
And I saw no sign of the child, just her.
No, not at all. Is anyone else doing anything while they are watching from the side room?
Yeah, several of us put stuff in the chat, so I don't know if Amy wants to go first since she says stuff first. Perfect.
Sure.
So you're looking for spirits and ghosts, okay?
Yeah, so here's the fun part is that Flori has the medium merit, which means that it's very easy for her to talk to the dead as well as just in terms of spirit because she's got 3 dots in spirit. Which is making this entire situation really funny on some level.
It's very funny that you have a real medium right behind the wall.
Yeah, we have a real medium, real spirit medium, and who just hangs out with the con artist. It's great. I love it.
It's great. You can give advice. You can be like, well, have you considered this?
Well, the problem is that I also have the spirit magnet as a flaw. So I have the spirits that also like to hinder her. So she might not be too forthcoming on some stuff. Anyway, but so she's trying to she's trying to listen to hear if there's, and look around to see if there's any particularly chatty ghosts, as well as to see if there's any spirits just in the general area, not quite right on the woman.
Well, why don't you go ahead and make me a perception and awareness roll at a difficulty of 6, while I struggle to find the spirit flaw that you have. What's the exact name of it? It's spirit...
Spirit magnet. Here, one moment. I will.
Oh, you didn't take it out of Book of Secrets. That's why.
Oh, I don't remember which one it was from.
It's probably from like M20 or something else.
Probably, yeah. So as the flaw version, it's the presence of malevolent spirits, banes, demons, and other nasty umbral beasts summoned by curse or spiritual corruption. These entities seek to tempt you, poison you, feed off your vitality, and otherwise turn your life into a self-contained hell on wheels. Spirit folk will avoid you unless they're into that sort of thing, and werewolves will consider you to be of the worm, whatever the hell that means. If only because of the company you keep. Although you might not consider yourself a bad person at heart, your spiritual companions say otherwise. So at 3 points, minor entities occasionally offer aid or hindrance, in this case, hindrance. But also with the medium part is that the ghosts like ghosts and restless dead like her.
Well, let's have some fun with this.
And super chatty. And I got 3 successes.
3 successes. Nearby, you are going to see a medium-sized man lingering in the parlor. He looks like a laborer of some kind. At least he was at one point. However, as you look at him, his skin is like ashed paper. At one point, someone broke this man. His legs are bent and bowed, his flesh flecks off of the bone. His clothes are sooty and marred by fire, and his eyes glow like embers. As you look at him, he looks at you and takes a gentle stand from the chair he is hovering in and wanders toward you. Are you looking at me? Love.
I think Flori just nods, looking directly at him.
What do you want from me?
I think she's looking like kind of towards the main room and very hushed voice responds, Nothing in particular, but if you do happen to know anything about the woman who just came in?
This woman, right here. The one who hates us mix. I know a thing about her. I've been following her around ever since my daughter started shacking up with her husband. Off doing real estate.
Sorry, could you run that past me again? Who was hooking up with her husband?
The maid. The nanny. Do you really think that she ran off?
Mm-hmm.
No. She's off in Baston. Right now. Having a little love affair with Mr. Egerton.
Oh, goodness. That's... Well,
And the bint knows it. She's
Oh.
just deluded. So she's drowning herself. In
Oh.
gin. And powders.
So did she do something with her son? Do you know?
I lost her for a bit. She was wandering through the park. And then the next thing I know, she's weeping in a fountain. If you're looking for the boy, I'd head out there quick.
Right.
It's about to get very cold outside.
Right. Okay.
Or perhaps I
Mhm.
could look for him. But if I find him, I might be liable to keep him.
I'm not sure what you would need to do with a small child. I don't think it would go very well. Sorry.
Oh, I just need to find his call. And then I can give him to the hierarchy. Maybe forge him into a coin or a dustbin.
Okay. No. No. Let's put a pause on that, and we'll see if we can find him first. But thank you for the information.
Do you want to see something fun?
Depends on what it is.
This.
And he's going to raise his hand. And over at the table, she is going through her story right now with you, Lucy, and is talking. And as she is doing this, you have candles everywhere, right? And I'm assuming you even have a candle on the table to, like, cast more shadow?
No. It would all be around because she's having to wear like big voluminous stuff and veils, and she's not going to risk herself knocking something over because that would definitely ruin the vibe.
How close to the table are the candles?
I think for the most part, they're probably actually in lanterns because fire is like a fairly big threat and she doesn't want to have to like use her magic to deal with it. So if anything, though, she probably does occasionally use forces to dim the candles a bit.
Sounds good.
And make them flutter.
Then I'm going to say there are probably some nearby, at least. And so not close enough to the table to affect you. However, as this is happening, Flory's kind of like muttering to herself. And this wraith is going to lift his hand and raise it. And you are going to see, Flory, that he is looking directly at some of the candles around the edge of the room, particularly the ones next to those drapes.
Oh, no.
Now, they're several feet away from the drapes. Would you like to try to counter magic this?
How do I do that?
So, you can counter magic night folk powers. Basically, you're going to make an arete roll at a difficulty of 6. And every success you get is going to lower my successes to activate my firepower.
Do I have to use a focus or anything like this to try and negate it? Because I would happily like throw a pinch of salt at the wraith.
You totally can.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
What'd you say my difficulty was?
6. Holy
Okay,
crap!
I got 3 successes.
Okay. 1 sec. I rolled 3 10s. So, and a 9 and a 9. So let me just re-roll. So I'll subtract the successes that you ate.
Florrie's gonna have to help replace Lucy's front room for her business if this goes where I think.
Okay. So we are going to do that. Meanwhile, I do want to check in with Mabel real quick. So Mabel, as you are looking through this, you're going to see, and so is Alistair, you're going to see Florrie like muttering to herself and then go and like throw a pinch of salt through the eye hole. And as she does, you are going to see this candle erupt in flame, like somebody like put a couple of aerosol cans behind it and just went psst, and it's going to erupt with 5 successes. You tried, and the drapes behind this woman, kind of off to the side of the room, are going to light up.
Okay.
Mabel's going to run out with some sand and try and use matter and forces to dampen the air and also change the sand into carbon dioxide smoke, aka fire extinguishers, to smother the flames.
Not my front room.
Okay, so the woman is going to shriek and tumble off of the chair. Mabel's going to rush out. Can you go ahead and give me an arete check, difficulty of 5, please?
Okay.
Actually, you're using forces and matter, difficulty 6.
Yeah, just a second. Let me check my what does my mad science get me? 1 point break on magical difficulties.
Within the throes of quiet.
Oh, within the throes of quiet. Right. Yes. Cool.
You gotta go nuts first.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. Does lightning? I know it says I can perform complex mathematical equations in my head. For lightning calculator, but that doesn't really give me any bonus on like being
on
fast.
The trajectory of this. No. For smothering drapes.
Yeah. So 6.
6.
Ooh, that is 2 successes.
All right, 2 successes. You are going to rush out into the main room and throw a. Where did you get the sand?
She has it as part of her stuff. She works in a lab. She has like a spill kit on her constantly.
Okay.
It's
all
just
right,
tucked in a little like pouch on her corset.
Okay, so you throw some pocket sand on it.
Yeah, pocket sand.
Pocket sand. Just remember, you're out of pocket sand now. You have to make some
no more pocket sand.
Okay, no more pocket sand. And it is going to hit that, and most of the fire is going to go out. The rest could probably be beaten out from here, but Lucy.
Okay, well, because Lucy's like, this is my fucking mysterious room. Pulls a thread from her from the side table, and she's gonna tie a loose knot and then pull it tight to pull the energy out of the fire with forces 3.
Beautiful. Go ahead, and this is going to be someone's already beating on the fire, so that's going to be difficulty 6.
Okay. Five.
Okay, so you're just transmuting into like cold or something like that?
No, she's pulling the energy out of it. That's
You're
forces
just
3.
actually
She's just
unraveling it?
That's it. It's done. It's pulling everything out of it, all the forces out of it.
So you are going to throw the sand in that and start beating it off, and it is going to immediately just go poof and dissipate.
And she's going to immediately try and turn on the charisma and manipulation to use her persona.
Was that the spirits? Was that? Oh God! Oh God! Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus!
They seem upset. They've startled my staff even. And she's going to pull her back forward. No harm done, child. And pull the lady up and back into her seat and kind of keep going. And basically, she's going to try, I think, and finish getting whatever information she thinks she might be able to get from her still. send her away with basically that she will send out her agents to work with the spirits to find the child type thing. Not making it sound like she's about to go run off to Central Park to go find out what's happening. Because, yeah, Lucy also has the soft-hearted flaw, so she's like, oh, a kid in need. I don't care that you're a rich bitch. I'll go help your kid type thing. But she's going to desperately try and keep her wits about her to keep her persona and, like, spin this.
All right. Is there a tavern nearby or somewhere that I could wait to hear? Or should I go back to my home?
Do I know anything about that family and the guy? Like, is he at all known?
You can make me an intelligence and politics roll or an intelligence and streetwise roll. Both will be a difficulty of 7.
I would prefer streetwise.
Sounds good.
1 success.
He owns several of the buildings in this neighborhood.
Okay.
He is known for being a person who buys up real estate, and he's one of the earlier tenement barons.
Okay. She'll direct her to probably like a slightly darker, but like a tea house type place that is going to stay open late, but is not going to be particularly rough, where she's not likely to get mugged.
Okay.
So a little out of this neighborhood type thing, because she sticks out here like a sore thumb.
Thank you.
And she will take some of the money, not all of what she puts down, to pay the agents to work with the spirits. I'll let you know if there was anything else needed.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But should probably take about, I don't know, $15 type thing. So not the full amount, but still a lot of money.
Okay. Sorry, just checking one thing for my reference. Okay, so not until 1934. Roger. Okay. I was seeing how old Tavern on the Green is. All right. Well, Jesus be with you and God bless. And she'll get up
Spirits
and
watch
kind of
over you.
half.
And she'll let like
and
she'll kind of. I'm gonna try and use like forces to let the candle flames dim a little bit more around her, and brighten a little bit close to the door.
And she is going to stumble out.
Okay.
And as the door shuts behind her, Flora, you're just going to hear the cackling of that wraith. What do you all do?
Flip the veil off. And what the hell happened?
So there was a ghost who really didn't like her.
I mean, she wasn't particularly likable.
No, not really. But the ghost, seems to have been following her for a while. And,
Is what happened?
no, which is also odd. If they lost track of her in the park and found her next time.
It's enough of an
Next
odd
he
aura
found
on
her. An aura.
Well, I mean, she was definitely drunk. But it was
yes.
weird.
But
So I think there may have been some encouragement. But no magic. At least not ours.
And apparently the housekeeper didn't just run off. She's with the husband.
Ah, yeah. Nanny housekeeper. The affair.
Yeah.
Poor girl probably didn't have much of an option.
Is
Keep
the
the dog
child
or get fired.
hers? Or is the child the maid's?
I mean,
you
I
think
doubt
he-
the woman would have kept a child if it wasn't hers.
Unless her husband made her. To hide his...
Or she couldn't have children.
Because apparently she knows and is in denial.
I mean, I feel like most
know.
women know when they're being run around on in their own home. But they don't have much option.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a difference. And if she got very drunk one night and decided to let out all of her years of internal rage at this child, and now
But
she's
we
feeling...
need to
She's not
go-
remorseful. There's nothing for her
Oh.
to be remorseful, I don't think.
Hmm.
She's scared.
If it's
But-
a secret to protect their reputation.
I doubt it's the nanny's child.
Hmm.
Because you know what you do? You kick them out because they're just an Irish Mick, and you go get another one. Because that's what they do.
Yeah,
Also, he's
you
not likely
held
to
it...
raise a bastard Irish child in his own house as his.
Well, certainly we should go look at where this child was last seen.
Yeah, because I think the ghost might be going after it too.
Oh.
I feel like there's something potentially special. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not sure why a child would be targeted otherwise. But I think we might need to grab our jackets and go. I sent her off to a tea shop to hide out for a bit.
Keep her
We'll
out
see
of
what
the
we can
way.
find. Well, I certainly wasn't going to leave her here.
Is the ghost following the woman, or is he staying in the parlor?
Flora will like look around and
He's gone.
well, he's very much gone.
So why was he interested in her?
Flora's trying to think back over the conversation. It sounded like he just really didn't like her.
The child.
The housekeeper's his daughter, I think is what it is.
Right,
The girl
right,
that's getting
yeah,
banged
okay.
is his daughter.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I
Everything's
I'd
connected
heard
in the
that, I missed
Victorian
it.
story.
yeah. Okay. Well, the housekeeper seems to be his daughter.
Ah.
Oh.
Not quite sure why he's not haunting the husband then.
Hmm.
Because the husband ran off to be with the daughter, and the wife is obviously not okay. Maybe kicked her out.
I think it's more to do with how far he can wander.
So he's tied more
Oh.
maybe to the house where
Fun.
his daughter has been working? Or area nearby? That might be how far he can get to.
Now, Flory doesn't have nearly enough occult considering how much she deals with. But in terms of at least what she has witnessed and seen, how far can ghosts usually go from an anchor point?
A bit. Not terribly far. Like, he couldn't go as far as Boston if he didn't have an anchor there. And I'm forgetting the exact word for anchor right now. But if he didn't have like a connection there,
Because Flory
and
has
his
a
daughter might
thought.
not be a connection.
Sure. Yeah, Flory has a thought, and that it's that perhaps this woman, if she really doesn't like the daughter, could have taken something and is carrying it around that actually belongs to like maybe the man's old wife or something, like the ghost's wife. I don't know. She's thinking maybe the woman stole some heirlooms from the maid
Maybe.
out of jealousy. So she's kind of like thinking through and maybe mumbling this to herself.
Well, it sounds like he didn't have anything to do with the child being taken. So I guess we need to go look around.
Yeah, let's go look around Central
Wanna
Park
join
at
me?
night.
Oh shoot!
Sounds fun.
Got
Should have asked you to
paid.
get some of her blood. Did she leave any hair?
Mm.
Or
Damn it, I was thinking of trying to do that, of getting like a blood spot on a handkerchief, and then I got distracted by the fire happening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll 1 dice and see what I get. I'm gonna drop it on the floor and lose it forever. It was a 5, and there's no hair.
Of course not.
Nothing,
And
unfortunately.
in her alarm didn't drop like a shawl or a kerchief or anything, or leave a glove. I mean, you can just say no.
All right, she left a glove. She would have left a glove. She was drunk and needing her gloves. I did say that. So I'll allow you a glove because it's a 1-shot.
Okay.
Also
so
because I think
Flori-
it's cute.
So if Flori's looking for that, we'll hold it up to anyone who she knows can trace things.
That would definitely be Alistair as correspondence.
Can you see where she
Enough
traced where
correspondence
she
to follow a
was?
connection.
With correspondence 2, and you have correspondence 2 if I'm not.
Yeah, I have correspondence too. My question is more so, what is it that we're looking to have? Because we know where she is, and I know where she was when the child went missing. So what is the question?
I think the connection of her to her child, to track the child and see if we can connect to where he is. Based on the shared kind of like
All right.
relationship.
So you won't be able to do that with a glove, but what could happen is Alistair could use that to basically do a better version of what they did before, a more triangulated version.
Okay.
Okay.
Specifically looking for the child's current whereabouts.
You'd be looking for where this glove specifically was earlier today. So the child, unfortunately, they're not his gloves, so it doesn't have a connection to him.
Okay. That is 10. One success.
Okay, 1 success. So once again, you're going to follow it back further, and you are going to see that the glove that you're holding up right now is very dirty. It once was a white glove, and as you're holding it, you see that it has like bits of like river silt on it that have stained it kind of an orangey red. And as you are looking back, you are going to get a time flash of it being in the creek of the loch. And in the background, you see a stone bridge. You think you know exactly the location.
And this is a different location than the place I saw the mother earlier?
This is basically where you saw her walking from.
Okay.
So this just confirms what you were thinking. Now the loch is a lovely place with like 3 waterfalls in it in the middle of Central Park. And the Huddlestone Arch Bridge is what you are thinking of. And I'm just going to send you a link to show you what it looks like. So for those of you who want to look up Huddlestone Arch, and those of you in the chat, I will just send this to you right now. You are going to see this bridge that's slightly taller than I think it's probably about 7 feet tall. Well, no, actually it looks like it's probably about 10 feet tall. And it is definitely a stone bridge. When you think of a stone bridge, think of one that would have been built in like the 1600s. This is the type of bridge you're looking at here. Giant stones the size of like a small car piled atop each other to make this kind of very rustic edge. So it's over by that direction.
I think that Alistair probably knows the name of this place.
I
Is
think
that
so,
correct?
yes. With 5 successes, absolutely.
Then I think that Alistair would just say, I do believe we should start at the Huddleston and go from there.
Wonderful. Lucy is going to run around grabbing her satchel and like supplies.
All right. right, sounds good. As you're doing that, I saw in our private chat that Mabel is grabbing a letter opener and sharpening it with some magic. I want to know something real quick. Mabel, do you want extra damage dice, or do you want a lower difficulty on damage?
I want extra damage dice.
Okay, so how long would you like that to last? For the rest of the game?
Yes.
Okay, that will now be a strength +3 letter opener.
Nice.
Okay, and that will just, as long as that effect is up, it will be good for the rest of game.
Cool. So yeah,
Okay.
Mab will take a glass letter opener that she has, and she takes a grindstone, grinds it down, and then mixes together a concoction of a set of polymers that will then transform the carbon alignment in the carbon atoms in glass and transform them into diamond. So she's making a diamond glass knife, but it looks like a glass letter opener. Totally not
All right.
harmless.
Nice. Yeah,
Totally.
Lucy is grabbing all of her stuff for like herbs, ritual knife, tarot cards, her little bag of like lacework / knitting stuff that she can have threads in a pinch to create something with.
And like Florrie's equipment is like yarn, spools of thread, a tiny like hand like weaving loom, and like
I love that we
like
basically separately came to a similar tool for our magic.
I mean, it helps for working together too, even though it's quite
It
different. I'm sure they probably swap materials occasionally. And then she's got like things for dyeing the like wool and fibers.
Fantastic.
Which actually
Alright.
really helps. Mabel will actually probably ask for some spare dyes, because that's really good at transforming one thing into another, as well as changing the color of it. Of course, it's not this now. It's
Red
this
things go
now.
faster.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yep.
So you gather up your things, and then do you head out?
I think so. Probably trying to grab. I imagine if there's streetcars, there's probably still hansom type cabs.
Of course.
As well.
Of course.
Which would be cheaper, probably, in the like rough areas of town.
Absolutely.
Streetcars maybe a bit fancy.
It's not like super fancy. It's basically like the old, like it's what the subway is today.
Okay.
But it's also getting a little later at night, and a cab will get you there more directly.
Yeah.
So with that, you head out. You call a cab. The driver will come and open the doors for you and go, "All right, ladies, where you going?"
Central Park, if you please, sir.
"Oh, absolutely, sir. I'll get you right there." With that, he closes the door and takes you out towards Central Park, which I think this is a great place for us to take a quick bio break. So, folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5 minutes after we use the facilities. See you in a second. Hey everybody, thanks for the raid. We were just on a quick bio break, so wonderful. Good to see everybody. Hey Matt Dawkins, how's it going? Matthew, Earthbind panel, happy with the adventure, great, back shortly. I hope you guys had a fantastic time. Whose channel were you on? You were over on Onyx Path? Nice. Hope everything is going very well. And yeah, we're still playing your Deviant game. This is just Deviant in a Mage outfit. Any quick announcements? If you're not watching the Curseborn actual play, you should be after this. And if you want to see more Dork Tales stuff this weekend, we're going to be back on Dork Tales Prime tonight for an episode of They Came From Beyond the Grave, which I got to work on that voice because I'm playing a professor or a mystic, and it's going to be dorky as hell, and I love it. But it's going to be great. That one is going live at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. No, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. 4:30 Pacific. That's way more reasonable for me. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And then we're back tomorrow at noon Eastern for a Technocracy game. All right. All right,
Like
players,
so
anything you need?
early.
It's only 9 a.m. That's not that terrible.
On the weekend.
On a
You went to sleep in
Sunday.
yesterday.
What we do for our fans and
It's gonna
and
be
convention.
the worst technocracy episode ever.
I'm so excited.
I'm
We
so
got
excited.
Pokemon Master. We got all sorts of stuff. All right, so folks, thank you so much. I'm just gonna get a chia seed out of my teeth because I had a spoonful of yogurt on the break.
So I forgot to tell you my concept for that character, Kelly, too.
Oh, what is it?
Financial dom as well. Just money as well.
I need a
Honestly.
financial dom. Hook me up. Where's this character in real life,
I
Robin?
thought that was just a sugar daddy.
No. A financial
Sugar
dom is she finds rich men and buys stuff with their credit cards.
Oh yeah, it's controlling a rich
okay.
person or
Yeah,
another person's
it's
finances.
controlling rich people's finances.
Okay.
Essentially.
So
I
she spends
see.
their money.
I've
and-
learned a new term.
Mhm,
I actually read a
mhm.
whole article about that on some
Yeah.
magazine somewhere. It was actually kind of interesting because, like, she's like, yeah, sometimes it's not actually like even spending their money; it's telling them what to do.
Yeah.
So invest here, save here, do this, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. And like they
Wild.
pay you to do that.
Yeah.
It's like it's
wild.
financial advisor but sexy. It's weird and like
Sexy.
kinky.
Yeah.
That's how I would get into financial advising. Like that would be great. Not an advisor, as an advisee.
Yep. That's my syndicate character.
Oh God,
That's
tell me
incredible.
tell me which IRA to invest in, mommy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So folks, we're going to be hopping back into game right now. Welcome back to Onyx PathCon. All right, let's head back in. Hello and welcome back to Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age, here at OPPCon. The cab takes you across the city. Honestly, you're not terribly far away from where you need to be. Before long, you are going to find yourselves there on the edge of Central Park. Now, knowing exactly where to go, it is not difficult to position yourself toward the Harlem side. Along the north there, you will easily be able to take this horse cab right down some of the roads of Central Park. And before long, Alistair, you will know this is about the point where the driver should let you off.
I'll tap my cane on the hood of the cab to signify we're getting off.
He'll hop off and pull the door for you. You sure about this, mister?
'Tis our business, sir. And he'll give him a generous tip.
Your business is your business, sir. And with that, he'll let you out into Central Park. There are very few lights in Central Park back in 1899. A couple of oil lamps that are burning atop posts. They're mostly for the wealthy and for tourists, but they don't burn long into the night, mostly for evening strolls. They will be put out in the next couple of hours. And you all find yourself wandering through the park. What's the plan? Are you heading straight to the bridge?
So as we get out and the light is dim, I am going to throw up a forces one effect to I don't want to wear it because it hurts it's all weird and crystally on the inside, but she's gonna put on her goggles and turn on night vision to be able to see
Sounds
in the
good.
dark.
Sounds good. So you're not that far away from where you need to be, really. Here you have taken a cab along the West Drive, and so go ahead and just give me that, Robin, at a difficulty of 4. You just need 2 successes.
I got 2. I was just typing. I was going to say difficulty 4, 2 successes in the chat just now. So
Perfect. If anybody else wants to use any of their spheres to give themselves any type of night sight, you may do so. Forces 1, for those who are not used to the system like Astra, will give you the ability to see in the dark very well. Just roll at a difficulty of 4, and you'll be able to see perfectly in the dark through various means.
Can I call upon a spirit and potentially use their vision at night?
You have Spirit 3?
Yep.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Give it to me a difficulty of 5, we'll say.
Okay.
What type of offering are you going to give to them?
Most of her stuff is done through weavings and thread, so it's possibly oh shoot, I had a thing for this. Perhaps something that's, if she knows that it's like about appearance or like vision, something that's aesthetically pleasing.
Okay, sounds good. So go ahead and make me that roll. Astra, how did you do? Oh no, I see you in our chat. You got a 1 and an 8. All right, so it's pretty dark through here, but there is still some vision that you have because of the ambient lights nearby.
I think I'll probably be using my cane a little bit more as like a tapping stick to make sure I don't trip on anything.
That sounds good to me. And Amy, what did you get?
I botched because a 1, a 2, and a 3 is not enough to get me.
Oh boy. Amy, do me a big favor, my friend. What is your nature?
Nature is idealist.
Cool. Your nature is, you are going to invite a spirit in. Your nature is going to be trickster for the remainder of the scene, as a spirit is going to compel you to be just the goofiest toddler. You're going to be very
great.
low key.
Okay.
So
That's
I would
great.
like to prime to fix up my shawl jacket to be armor.
Sounds good. So go ahead and do that. Give it to me at a difficulty of 5, please. Reminder, if you have 2 effects up, that is a +1 to your difficulties. If you have 4, it's +2, and so on.
Sorry, what was the difficulty?
Difficulty of 5.
Sweet, that's 3 successes.
3 successes, okay. So you will be resistant to damage while wearing that shawl. It will count as armor, as you imbue it with a point of quintessence to kind of reinforce its extra dimensional pattern.
Yeah, enchant armor is what I was trying to use,
Perfect.
basically. So armor is able to soak egg.
Beautiful. You make your way. Are you headed directly toward the bridge, or are you headed elsewhere?
I think
Alistair would lead them to the bridge.
I think from what Alistair said, like, try and follow what he described. They described as that they saw in the vision, time sense. So try and get near a riverbank probably and look along the edges as we're moving is what Lucy will be looking to do.
Now, as you all know, the lock is a central kind of waterway that goes down into a place called the pool. The lock connects all the way from the pool kind of up by wherever that skating rink is. It's quite a lovely location, although most people don't tend to go by the pool nearly as much. And I say it's the pool, but it is literally just called the pool. It's not like a swimming pool or anything like that. It is just a large body of water. Not one of the larger ones in Central Park, but it's sizable enough. I really wish I had done a little more playing in Spider-Man 2 before this game, just to get an overhead sense of this. But as you make your way over, you are going to find one of the walking trails, exactly the Huddleston Stone Arch. Now, it is a massive old arch that hangs overhead about 12 feet. And as you approach it, I'd like everybody who is going to take a look around the area to make me, does anyone here have investigation?
I do.
Okay, so make me a perception plus investigation roll, please. Perception and investigation at a difficulty of 6 for Christine and 7 for Astra because of the low lighting conditions. Everyone else can do me a perception and alertness roll.
Okay, is this a site-based alertness
It is
roll?
site-based, yeah. So it's a base difficulty 8 for the alertness, so that'll drop it to difficulty 6 for you.
Cool.
Is there anything impacting me because I am now possessed by the trickster spirit?
You are going, roll me flat. Roll me flat.
Okay. So in that case, it was alertness and perception.
Yes.
So that's 2 successes.
2 successes. As you approach, you are going to be able to see several things. You are going to see at the edge of this overpass, this bridge, it's this stone arch, that those of you who are using investigation, there is a smear along one of the walls of stone. It's reddish orange. You're going to be the one to see this, Alistair. It's the same river clay that you see on the glove. It's smeared along the wall like someone was stumbling. On the ground, next to it, looking around, Lucy, you are going to find an ornate flower engraved flask. It is tipped over, but has not completely emptied its contents. It has the smell of juniper.
Okay.
Kind of rolling out of it. And as you are looking down at this, it is definitely an expensive lady's flask that has been dented by the fall. There's even just the softest bit of lipstick around the side of it. But before you can get much of a sense of it, your companion is going to take a step forward, and Flory, I think you're going to drain it.
What, just dump it out or drink it?
No, it's perfectly good gin.
Oh, okay. Sure. And then she's also gonna go, I think, is also running off to go make some flower crowns if there's flowers along the way.
Oh, there absolutely are. There are flowers still blooming around here, which
Oh, beautiful.
It's actually October. Most of the flowers are in hibernation, but the ones around this bridge are still in decent bloom.
I should talk to them.
And you should talk to them. And as you are looking around, Robin, I'm noticing that you got 4 successes on perception. You were going to see that, strangely, do you have any points of botany or survival?
I have a point of survival, and I do have a point in academics for biology, and then I have science specialty in chemistry. So
you're going to see that there are a number of vines that are kind of wrapping around the side of the arch that are still blooming. It looks like, you think that they're rose vines? I mean, they're roses, but they look a little weird to you. You're not a botanist. You wouldn't know exactly these things. But you do notice that it has not been particularly moist recently around here, and yet the ground is covered in flowers and fungus. There are quite a few toadstools around the edge of this bridge.
Would I know much about fairy circles?
Do you have a cult or Hearth Wisdom?
I have a cult. Hearth Wisdom is vampire.
Oh, it is vampire. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm
So I
thinking
do have a cult.
esoterica.
and enigmas. I don't know if that would be either.
Enigmas
But
would
yes,
be like
I have-
riddles and things like that.
Yeah, I have occult though. I have a point of occult.
Okay. So, looking around, you're going to see that. And also, those of you with investigation are going to be able to see that there are muddy footprints that are heading into and kind of under the overpass, for the archway, I keep saying overpass, that are getting fainter as they are angled toward where this woman eventually ended up. It looks like they were coming from the direction of the pond, though. So as you are looking at this, seeing that there are footprints that are leading to this bridgeway back from the pond, make me an intelligence and occult roll, Mabel. And are you telling anybody else about what you found?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was waiting to say that. But I was like, Mabel's gonna be like, oh, this is Fae. This is a fairy. There's toadstools. There's water. There's blooming. These plants should not be. Hasn't rained for weeks. What's my difficulty?
Difficulty on this is 6.
1 success.
1 success. The toadstools are all in a very strange shape.
Yeah. A circle?
They are in a 3-foot diameter circle. A perfect circle.
We've got a fairy circle. I think a fae has taken the child.
No one's stepping in it.
You say as the impatient and curiosity flaws take effect with the trickster possession.
Yeah.
I think Flory's already either poking at or entering the circle.
Okay, can I get everybody here to make me a perception and awareness roll at a difficulty of 8?
What? It's not like they're gonna try and take one of us, Flory says with Bard's tongue.
Thank you. Thank you for supplying that for me so I didn't have to.
As Flory's like reaching, Mabel's gonna try and grab for Flory. 100% if we get transported. Bullshit. But that's why
3
Mabel's
successes.
going to read.
Okay, Mabel, make me a a dex and brawl roll.
Okay. Did you want me to give that perception awareness roll though?
Yes, please.
Okay. That is 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. What are we looking at for a 3 and a 3 plus a 10? All right. Anybody who got any successes at all is going to get a sudden flare of tingles on the back of your neck. All of the hairs on your arms and legs are going to stand up as in a a 6th sight, a 10th sight, a sight that is not actually a sight. You are going to feel energy erupt out of this circle the moment that Flory sets her foot inside of it. Mabel, what did you get to grab her?
Oh, I'm sure I failed. I had 1 die for my strength. And I rolled a 3 on it, so I figured I probably failed.
So you're going to be able to like grab like the hem of her shirt. As you do, there is going to be a swirl of motion. And can I get a stamina roll off of you and off of Flory? Difficulty 6.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
1 success. You do not vomit.
Yay!
That is 3 successes.
3 successes. You definitely don't. This is absolutely great. There is a swirl of motion, and you're going to watch both of them kind of stumble forward into this circle and then vanish as fog suddenly fills this area. And you can hear the distant sound of music and clapping. What do you do, Alistair? What do you do, Lucy?
Oh, heavens above. Well, Lucy, shall we go after them?
I suppose we'll have to. Lucy is going to be hunting through her bag to see if she has any herbs she can weave into a quick necklace, I guess, for warding.
Okay.
Against being glamored or something like that.
Maybe. Do you have any mind magic?
I do not.
Well, sure. You think it works. Your Irish heritage, the stories that your ma told you.
But otherwise, is there anything she can do for like binding? So if she made a circle that she could loop over something with maybe like herbs and magic and prime or forces for that she believes would bind it until it agreed to let them go with the child type thing.
With forces, I mean, a little bit of telekinesis goes a long way.
Okay.
But as for like magical binding, sorry, go ahead, Alistair.
Could Alistair use correspondence to leave an object kind of on the bridge on this side as a way to anchor them to get back?
You could try. With correspondence 2, it's a little harder, but go ahead and give me at a difficulty of 5.
One success.
One success. All right. So you are going to. What do you leave behind?
I think that he would probably take one of his like pages out of his journal and like write the names of each bridge.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, you'll be able to do that and leave that behind, and then the two of you step through.
Yep.
All right. As you step through, you are going to find yourself with your companions in no time at all. On the other side, there is a veritable jamboree happening here. You are looking at a realm where it is night right now, but the sky is a shade of lavender. The stars are glittering above you. There's a long table with the lace of a wedding dress drawn across it. There are bowls of what look like ice cream, but multitude of rainbow colors. Bright pinks, magentas, lilacs, reds, sharp yellows and oranges. Cooling greens and sunny yellows are everywhere. You can see that there are tremendous legs of meat on spits that must be the size of a man's torso. What type of cow this could have been from is impossible to guess. Around you, you can see that there are quite a few revelers. Many, many revelers, in fact. But on this side, you're going to see that probably there are about 20 people here. Let's say 30, actually. But of those 30, more than 20 of them are normal, like you. They're in various states of disarray. Some of them are sprinting around in their underclothes, those onesies with the frilled bits at the thighs and upper arms. A couple of them you can see are cavorting in a bush. You can see a man's leg and a woman's leg sticking out of the brush at an angle that implies that they are very close at the moment. But then you're going to see the rest of the scene in front of you. Now, this feast, which looks almost like an outdoor wedding, is in full swing. Someone is playing music. There are fireworks shooting off in the distance, shaped like strange creatures, chimera, dragons, and other creatures illuminating the purple sky. But you see around you probably at least 6 individuals of strange shape. There is a woman standing over by, and I say woman in the sense that it takes you 2 glances to realize that it must be female, turning the spit with one hand. Her flesh is a blue-green. Her brow curls back in a set of gnarly goat horns. She stands nearly 9 feet tall, her body rippling muscle, wearing a chainmail shirt. Nearby, you are going to see a pair of twins with scraggly black hair, pinched faces, lips that are stained black, having a loud whisper argument. As well, you are going to see a very well-appointed little butler. He can't be more than 4 feet tall, dressed in green with a waistcoat to match. He is counting coins on a table. The very image of a clericon or a leprechaun. And beyond that, you will see 2 more strange individuals, one of which is this kind of a rat-faced little man who has these long whiskers coming out the side of a pinkish nose, who is in the middle of fiddling with a picnic table that is being built, kind of muttering under his breath as he goes. And as well, over in a circle of stones, there is a large man throwing fists with a gnarled woman of about 60 who is wearing a red hat that dangles down past her shoulder blades. It drips a little bit of blood. And they are having a fisticuffs match. No one really pays attention to you as you enter. However, as you do, one of these revelers will approach you casually and thrust a brimming drink of fizzing liquid into each of your hands. She smiles. Her hair is held up in a flower crown and pigtails. Here you go. Enjoy the night. Welcome to the Autumn
very
Revel.
Deliberately going to keep her hands down and closed.
Welcome to the Autumn Revel. Are you here to meet the Briar King?
We're looking for a child.
Just a little.
Oh,
boy.
honey, I can't give you a child, but I can try.
No, I'm okay. I'm looking for a boy. Ran in here by accident. 6 years old, human.
You should probably speak to the king.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where can we find
course.
them?
He's just at the main table there. And she gestures, and sure enough, you're not sure how you didn't see him to begin with, but the one that she refers to as the Briar King is a man in a red vest and billowing shirt sleeves, dressed in riding boots that he has up on the central table. It is lit by fairy lights everywhere, kind of woven through all the local trees and things like that. You can see a version of this archway that you walked through behind the central table. And as a firework illuminates, it is going to cast light down on this man sitting behind a table. He has long, furry gray ears that drip. Well, they kind of hang down over one of his eyes, and the other stands up straight, the ears of a rabbit. He has buck teeth and a split lip that curls out into a bit of one of those furry muzzles. This rabbit man, with his feet up on the desk, is having an animate conversation with a 6-year-old boy. And in fact, it looks like they're playing cards.
Mabel's gonna start walking over there. She's gonna put the glass down on a table. Not a chance of eating or drinking anything in the Fae. And she'll kind of put up her night vision goggles and drop the spell effect that she was having going on them.
You got any twos?
The boy will shake his head. Are you walking right up to the main table?
Yes, 100%. Mabel's going to start going up there.
As you do, you are going to see a blur of motion from one side as the blue woman, the huge troll of a woman, is going to take a step away from the spit and step in front of you.
What are you doing? You got business here?
I was told to speak to the king. I'm just trying to speak to the king.
Well, I'm the king's herald, and who might you be?
The name is Mabel Watson, Masters of Chemistry in New York, Earth.
And I'm Constance Stoneheart, Knight of the Court.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're just looking for, that boy there. He accidentally, I think, stumbled into here by mistake, and we would like to retrieve him. His mother is missing him very much.
You think you can just walk in here in the middle of a celebration like this and we're just gonna give you whatever you want?
Yeah, I actually really do. I think that reuniting a mother with her lost child that is very worrying is a higher priority and not necessarily something that the Fae condone. That's not very playful and tricky. That's more sinister and cruel. And I was
You
wondering
calling me
if I could
unseelie?
No, not at all. I'm just pointing out.
You calling me unseelie?
She leans down into your face.
No, I was wondering if I could make a manipulation roll, Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. So manipulation, and what would you like to combine it with?
I would like to use etiquette, and I would like to wondering if unnerving logic applies.
Yeah, go ahead. See if you can find any like courtly etiquette that you can toss in her face.
Yeah, and then I was using unnerving logic of trying to parental discipline, kind of the bond between mother and child. What is my difficulty?
Your difficulty on this is gonna be 6, but I'll roll her int and etiquette to see to counter you.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a willpower, and I can only use Quint on magic rolls. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What did I have? There, I have. What is this? What is this? Oh yeah, no, that's for my knowledge, my influence background, which does not apply in the fight. Okay, cool. So difficulty 6, spent a willpower. That's gonna be 4 successes.
Cool. I rolled 1166.
Oh.
So she's gonna look at you and like screw up her face a bit.
Like, I can't argue with that.
And I have no harm. I mean no harm or to disturb. We mean no ill will. We do not want to disrupt. We just want to retrieve the child and bring him back to his mother. And so I'd just like to speak with the king just to see if we can do that in any soon time. If he wants to spend a little bit longer, that's fine. I don't want to force anything. I'm just trying to see the eventual safe return of this child to his mother.
While that is all happening and being distracting, Lucy would like to just kind of slip around the side and keep going.
Make me a dex and stealth roll to do that. Speaking of which, Amy has already done that, and if you glance up, you're going to see over your shoulder that Flory has already been dealt in to the Go Fish game.
What's the difficulty?
Yeah, I do. Difficulty 6, please.
That's 4 successes.
All right, so you are going to be up there as well. Alistair, what are you doing? You've been handed a drink of fizzing liquid. You can see that there are fey creatures cavorting all around.
I have curiosity, but I also have made my specialty of my knowledge in world religions. So, what's going to win out here?
That's a great question.
Because I know this is a bad idea.
I mean, you know about it, but how bad could it be, really, right? Like,
Right?
you know.
Do you want me to roll for it to see?
I would love that, because I believe you also have the easily intoxicated flaw.
I sure do.
Then go ahead and make, what do you think would be good? Make me a willpower roll at a difficulty of 8. So roll all of your current willpower, please. If the Hermetic comes out to here and just gets...
That is 2 successes.
Okay, you may choose to imbibe, but man, you're real curious. You're real curious, so it's your choice.
I'm gonna hold on to the goblet for now, but I'm gonna restrain. I'm just wafting the vapors. Is the troll still standing between me and the king?
The troll is going to kind of scrunch up her nose and is doing mental math, but you're going to see that Mabel has given her a brow beating, and she is going to just, which she's got a lot of brow, so that's a hell of a beating. She is going to take a step aside. All right, be on your best behavior, okay?
Of course, thank you so much. Sorry, Constance, Harold Constance?
Sir Constance.
Sir Constance.
The beverage in your hand, Alistair, smells like the finest licorice. With something under it that you can't quite plumb? Pear? It's some fruity note of a stone fruit. But you can feel the, like, even just being close enough that you can smell it, you can feel the fizz and the little, like, pops of carbonation or whatever is foaming out of it, like, tickle the inside of your upper nasal cavity. This wants to be imbibed. This would feel weird to drink. But you can absolutely make it past the troll.
I will kind of linger at the back of the group cluster around the Go Fish.
All right, you got any 3s?
Yes.
All right. And I'm out. Hey, when did you get here?
Before this round?
Oh, that's true. I did deal you in. I don't remember inviting you to this soiree.
Oh. We need an invite? The door was open.
Oh, then you had an invite. We've been collecting people for this doohickey for at least a week now. Oh, there's more of yous. What can I do for you? My name's Jack.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Jack. We were just looking for this young fellow.
The young boy, sitting at the table, has brown hair the color of molasses. It is plastered to the side of his head. He is soaked to the bone, but is not shivering. Apparently the lighting around here or the warmth from food or beverage is enough that even though he is just still gently dripping around the edges, he doesn't appear cold.
The kid was Ed, right?
Yeah, Edward.
Edward.
Eddie. The dad was Alan.
Yes.
Alan.
So you know my friend here. This is Edward, a squire of the court.
Yes. You've worried your mother awful. She's going to try and talk to Ed in a way like probably his Irish nanny does. So she's going to let the Irish come out real hard. And Christine's not very good at doing that unless she's already hearing it.
Oh, how are you doing today? Oh, how are you doing? Oh,
I'm just kind of like, oh, you've worried your mama, right? Right? Awful. Look at you. Did you fall in the river? You're soaking wet. Are you fine? She'll probably hand him like a handkerchief and just kind of mother him a little bit in that very kind of like Irish servant way.
Okay. Do you touch him at all?
She will put a hand on his shoulder.
He's going to flinch away, but before he does, you are going to feel he's very cold.
Oh, lad, you're freezing. And she'll put her shawl around him.
Can I get a perception and empathy roll from everyone here?
For a change, I actually have empathy on a character.
No, I don't. I didn't learn. I don't have empathy, so just
I
perception.
specifically took it because if I'm being a con artist, I have to be able to decipher stuff about people.
Yeah, I did awareness, leadership, and subterfuge because, you know,
What was
scientist.
And the difficulty?
Difficulty of this is 6. It's very obvious.
I still rolled 3 successes with
You
all
guys
3
are
of the
on
dice.
fire
Ooh.
today. 3 successes, 2 successes, 3 successes.
I
Astra,
rolled
what do we
3
got?
10s. It wanted me to get this one.
6 successes from Astra. Okay. He is going to flinch away from you. And is very nervous. Is going to scoot over toward Jack as much as he can, kind of leaning against Jack's chair without touching him physically. And Astra, as Alistair observes this from the back, what is your perception specialty?
I can see the movement and composition of the spheres.
Okay. So fair. So not exactly a perception for like emotional things, but still, you are going to be able to see that he is completely locked inside of this this rabbit man's orbit. But you're also going to see that his pupils are going to constrict the moment that Lucy begins talking about the mother. His shoulders are going to go up and he's going to crouch down. Even as that initial Irish lilt opens him up, the talk of his mother is going to slam the door. There is something very disturbing to the boy.
Alistair will kind of lean in to Lucy and be like, I don't think the mother is quite the right tack to take.
So, what brings you to our soiree? Are you here to celebrate?
Of course. What are we celebrating?
Good. It's autumn, which means that the crown is mine again. I'm the Briar King after all, and it's time for the Briars.
Approximately what time of year is it exactly? Because we're saying it's autumn, but is it like harvest
It's October.
festival time or after?
It's like near Halloween. Not quite, but
Okay,
close.
So
I'd say
around
it's-
like
let's say
harvest. sort of.
October 21st.
Okay.
Well, then why don't you all drink up? Be merry. Have a little bit of fun.
So I have a dot in occult, and I kind of was able to figure out about fairies. Can I make an occult roll to figure out if figure out what's going to be, or etiquette to figure out if refusing or not taking is going to be get us in a lot of trouble?
You can make me an intelligence and etiquette or a call roll. Either one will be fine with me. The question is, do you want to know if it's getting you socially in trouble or mystically in trouble?
Mystically, as in we will not be able to get back.
Go ahead and make me that roll.
Okay. What is my difficulty?
Difficulty in that? 6.
Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. You are mages. 2 of you have spirit magic, and some of you have correspondence. You'll likely be able to punch your way out of this.
Okay.
If this is a sub-realm, if this is some type of fairy plane. That said, drinking and imbibing the food probably will give them some type of mystical power over you. Maybe not full control, but it will, much like in normal situations, it's a lubricant.
And onto that, would I be able to counteract that with matter? magic, would I be able to change the substance enough to turn it into a drink?
For the, as far as you can tell, for the naturalistic effects of whatever is inside of there, absolutely. The chemical part of it, you can absolutely take care of.
Okay.
However, if there's other layers to it, there's no saying.
Okay, cool.
Now with that, he's going to reach over, grab a bottle of beer that's just lying around from one of the local distilleries. He's gonna say, well, cheers to our guests and enjoy all the rest. Lift up your glasses and drink till you're on your asses. And he's gonna take a big swig. One moment, please. Hey, I need all of you to do me a favor, and I love that they actually put these rules in the book. Can I get everybody here to roll their willpower as a soak pool? So that means is I need you to roll your current willpower, difficulty 6.
I'm glad I didn't use a willpower on that occult roll just now. I was debating on that, and I'm glad I didn't.
1.
Okay.
1 success.
2.
Is this something Iron Will applies to?
Yes, it is. Iron Will, you will absolutely be able to. I believe you can spend a willpower to negate this for the scene, is the way it works. Every Iron Will is written slightly differently, though. So, how is it written in yours?
So, system-wise, your character receives 3 extra dice for his willpower rolls whenever he faces a challenge to his convictions, resists, etc., etc. If the character ever crosses paths with a vampire or other mind-controlling entity, they can shake off the effects of such assaults by spending a single willpower.
Yes. So go ahead and make the roll with the bonus.
Okay. And what was the difficulty?
And difficulty 6. Six successes. Perfect. You needed 3. So your Iron Will is going to clamp down and you have no issue resisting this as he drinks. The rest of you are going to take, let's see, did anybody get 3 successes? Okay. You are going to cheers and take a drink before you realize what is happening. You all are going...
I wouldn't be quick enough to just quickly try and change at least the intoxication effects on.
Nope, but the glamour effect is going to hit you first as you take a long drink of whatever's in front of you, and it's going to bubble down your throat, and you're going to feel yourselves in a really light-hearted mood. Everyone who drinks is going to take a -2 on mental rolls for the remainder of the scene, but have a +2 on social rolls, including their appearance is going to go up, which is great because I believe Flory only has appearance 1, so she...
No, I tweaked it before I resent it last night.
Did you tweak it? Okay.
Yeah, she's got appearance 2.
Okay, good.
So,
yes, Robin.
Quick question then. Because I had said at the very beginning of the scene that I specifically put my goblet down. Did something else come into my hand at that point?
There is a glass on the table in front of the boy that you would have grabbed.
Okay, cool. Just I want to make sure because I had specifically been like, I'm putting this down so I do not be forced to drink. So, cool. Good.
And his glass is full. He has not been drinking. So you will
what
take...
are the chances that Flory has already had a drink before all this? Because curiosity and so on and so forth as she joined in the game?
I think that's probably a good chance.
Yeah, okay, so this is probably her second.
How quickly does Alistair's intoxication kick in?
Immediately. There is something to this. And Mabel, you are going to shiver as you drink this, and you realize that there is another layer to this. In fact, it is not just chemical. There is something that's going to make you shiver enough that it's going to go right through you. And you are going to see nearby a small hut with a moon carved in the door.
I'll be right back.
I think Lucy is going to try to start trying to figure out what's up with the kid and how to maybe slowly encourage him into going back to the real world.
Listen,
instead of becoming one of these.
We are happy here. We're having a good night. Okay? And you are welcome to stay as my guests. But Eddie here is a member of the court now. And he's gonna be staying with us.
Okay, Christine can't think of ways in which to, like, dispute without being outright rude.
Sure. Why don't you make me a
Lucy
manipulation
has
etiquette roll?
4 manipulation and 4 charisma.
Sure. Make me charisma or manipulation and etiquette.
Okay. If I don't have etiquette,
okay.
What's
what do you have?
What's the minus there?
Alistair has 3 etiquette, if that would help you.
Ooh. Do you want to
because
combine...
my roll?
Well, no, but Alistair can offer a few ideas in. So why don't you give me a charisma and etiquette roll, Alistair, first. And so Alistair can offer a couple of ideas to you. And every success that Alistair gets at difficulty 6, you'll add as an extra dice.
That is 5 successes.
5 successes. All right. So, Christine, go ahead, and you are armed with a bit of etiquette knowledge about, well, it's only right that the boy should be able to come home, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he's not your property, and so on. You can add that into your roll. So roll me your manipulation plus 5.
Sweet.
You're at a difficulty of 7 because you don't have etiquette. But knowing your dice, I have a feeling you're going to get many successes. Because she rolling those Mage gemstone dice from Bookworm.
Yep. Definitely. They're my favorites. They roll the nicest. That's 4 successes.
Okay, 4 successes. All right. So, between the two of you, though, that is pretty solid. Let me just roll a counterpoint. Oh, did you both add the +2 from... Oh, pardon me. Astra, did you roll the +2 for imbibing the liquor?
I did not.
Roll me 2 more dice. Tell me what you get.
1 success.
Okay, roll 1 more dice, Christine.
That's another success.
Okay, so 5 total. That's great. He gives you a look up and down as your companion returns from the washroom. You feel better now that you've powdered your nose, dollface?
Much, yes. And while she's at the bathroom, could I try and take a antacid to try and null at least the effects of intoxication?
Sure. I'll say that you can actually absolutely do that. You have life 2?
No, I was gonna use matter 3 to break down and
it's inside of you.
The ethanol.
You can make me a stamina plus medicine roll to remove it from your system.
No, I was hoping to take transform take the tablet that is
and turn it into charcoal or something.
Well, just has an enzyme the enzyme that breaks down ethanol in your body faster. So she takes basically a ton of enzymes to try and rapidly absorb the ethanol in her system using matter.
Okay,
but
give me a matter roll at a difficulty of 4.
Okay. That is 2 successes.
Okay, so you're going to take the edge off at the very least.
Okay.
The supernatural part of this is still going to be very much embedded.
Yeah, I figured I wasn't going to be able to get the supernatural part, but I want all of my my perceptions and Robin's forgetting the word. I want all my wits about me, intoxicating wise, to be gone. So I want
Fair.
I want to be sober, whether or not
you're going to be as sober as the supernatural component will allow.
Yeah.
So you are sober plus.
And Lucy's trying to be cheerful while doing this too, not down and rude or anything.
Here's the deal. I'll make you a deal.
We are about to start the revelry at the end of the hour. So, I only have a little bit of time before we actually begin the feast and the celebrating proper. But I do need someone else to come and party with us.
Oh?
So if one of you agrees to stick around and party, because you all are the strange types, right? I've seen you around. Some of my people know your people, Miss Lucy Gibbons.
This wouldn't happen to be any time differences between the spaces, is there?
Not particularly.
So, an hour here is an hour where we're from?
It's not going to feel like an hour in the middle of the party, but yes, the clocks don't need to be rewound.
So none of the Fae thing of stepping in for a party and ending up 100 years in the future.
You're not going to get Rip Van Winkled here. No.
How long does the party last?
Until dawn.
How long's that?
Do I look like a fucking farmer's almanac to you? Like
Your
6 or
Majesty.
7 in the...
A couple hours?
Probably about 6 or 7?
What do you think, Flory?
What?
Are you
I
having
think
fun?
Flori's like got the hem of one of the other Fae's like skirt and is like embroidering little flowers on it, like rather
Oh my god, that looks so nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. What do I think?
So, if somebody stayed to party with you, the boy is free to go back to his nanny?
If somebody agrees to party with me, let's have a discussion.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
If at the end of the discussion you decide you want to take the boy with you, you are welcome to. No tricks. No glamour. No magic.
One question. You did say that the boy was, I believe you said a squire of the court. Would that mean that Flora would become your squire, or would they both be?
That's a wonderful question. Flora, is it? Would you like to be a lady of the court? Would you like to be a squire or a dame?
Well, I've never been much of a lady before, so I don't know if I'd fit the role.
Oh, you can
But
be
it
a
sounds
man if you
exciting.
want to. Nobody cares about that here.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm common background.
Yeah, me too. I was shining shoes on Fifth Avenue.
Looking at all the clues like in front of her, I feel like Lucy's probably put together the boy is abused.
Oh, yeah.
Probably by both father and mother, and the nanny's the only one who actually cares about him. So, if he's like actively like, what would she potentially think in this like time and place? Like, if he's actively like happier here, and would they actually like look after him well?
He seems okay.
Because otherwise, like, she probably knows someone to give him a better life, but she would be kind of like, well, so the idea of changelings, are you actually able to do that?
It's a long and complicated story, love, but if the power's inside of you the whole time, yeah, you could awaken. You could emerge as a changeling.
No, I mean, like, what you leave in place of a child.
No.
No, you can't do that.
Tell you what, it's more complicated than that, and it would take me a really long time to explain. I've got perhaps 30 minutes before I gotta be back here at the party. How about the 4 of us, or the 5 of us with me? Eddie, do you mind watching the court as my squire? Make sure nothing bad happens here? The child will nod. How about the 5 of us take a walk?
Sure.
We'll
Sounds
walk, we'll
good.
talk. And if at the end of it, You make your choice. But either way, I get somebody here to potty.
We'll party, but before you said no magic and no glamour, would you mind removing the current glamour that you have on? And then afterwards we can party, you can put it back on. But I do not want to make decisions when I know I might be swayed one way or another.
The eagles take flight. The eagles is soaring. Get rid of your booze. Go back to being boring. And he'll snap his fingers and you will defuzz. So, and he is going to hop up, leaping the table onto the floor in a single spring. Let's walk. Come on. All of us. Come on. Come on.
Lucy will kind of hop to her feet and just kind of like do that little like bounce up on your toes and like smooth out skirts and stuff. And she's being fun at the same time as being like, we need to figure this out.
Yeah, Mabs is trying to be fun, just like she's like, if we're making a decision about a child, and we need to make sure that we know that we have seen all the correct options before we have to go back to its mother and tell her a convincing story of why we couldn't find her son, kind of thing. So Mabel's like, I need to make sure I'm 100% bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
So the flush will vanish from all of your cheeks except for Alistair, who is a notoriously easy drunk, and the alcohol in the drink is still going to be enough to make him a bit flushed.
Yeah, Alistair is walking very unsteadily, and his voice is quite a bit higher than it normally is, so...
And with that, Jack is going to wander down the main aisle back toward the ring of toadstools. Come on, let's go for a walk.
Yeah, Flora will follow.
Mm-hmm.
He will hop in. Do you all follow?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Unsteadily, but yes.
You step back across into the mortal realm, and once again, it is just regular night. The archway looms behind you. And Jack offers the crook of his arm to one of the three ladies. Should anyone choose to take it, he will wait for the count of 3 before walking off.
Lucy will take it.
Yeah.
She'll be polite.
He'll offer
Does
the
he
other crook
look-
of his arm if anybody wants it too.
Maybe we'll take the other one. Does he look like a rabbit
Actually,
still?
Stepping through on this side, he looks like a man in his mid-20s, early 20s maybe. Honestly, he looks a bit like Eddie Redmayne. Kind of a little bit, you know that big style of like kind of weaselish, radish looking handsome guys these days? He definitely looks like a rabbitish one. His clothes are a bit more threadbare, and they're definitely far less lined with silvers and golds, and the boots are second-hand. He's definitely looking lower class on this side. And with that, he will begin walking you down the lane. The revelry only really happens once in a while. And, the seasons are real important to us. You know, Ed reminds me a lot of myself when I was a boy. My pa didn't take to me too much, but he did take to his drink. He's the reason that I can, I worked as an escape artist for a bit because I can dislocate my shoulder and my wrist, and I got Pa to thank for that. So I got a soft spot for kids like this. Truth be told, I wish I could have been there to help him before he had to go through everything that he did. But unfortunately, that's just not the way that life works, right? It's not the way that anything works, really.
Well, you are Briar King. Surely you could do something now.
Yeah, I have. I want to keep him.
And what does Edward want?
I don't think he wants to be back with his mother. But, I can't give him a better life, but I can give him something peaceful, at least. And as he says that, he walks with you to the edge of the pool. I think it's better this way. His mother sent you here looking for him.
Well, she came to us distraught, but I was more concerned about the missing child.
Well, if you want him, he's right there. And he gestures down. And any of you with any degree of night sight will immediately see it. On the edge of the water, a bobbing, half-submerged body.
I'd hoped otherwise. Keep him happy.
You're Fae. You have the ability to change people's minds. Kind of, yes?
Kind of, yes.
I know she doesn't deserve it. But can you make something that can make her forget him? She's gonna drink herself to an early death.
She's already going to, Mabel, without the kid being a factor.
You're wizards, right? Mages,
Scientists.
magi,
Yeah.
scientists. Take a look. And tell me what you think.
So Flory's looking down at this and is checking. I'm very much guessing, assuming that the kid is in fact a ghost now. But I would still like to take a look with life sight at the body, just to confirm.
Okay. Sure, I'll let you do a forensics thing. So go ahead, just using life as basically more like a ability enhancing magic. Why don't you go ahead and roll me, do you have medicine?
I do.
Okay, make me a perception and medicine roll. And can I please get, Robin,
the
can you roll
difficulty?
me an intelligence and enigmas roll?
What is my difficulty?
Let's say difficulty of 7. Just to add a little spice.
And what was mine?
Your difficulty is going to be using life magic as a boost. It's going to be like 5.
Okay, in that case, I have 1 success.
You roll over the body, and you can see, as soon as you do, the face is covered in mud. You can see the clinch marks around the throat. The bits of hair that have been pulled clear. You can see the bulging eyes and the broken fingernails. He tried to get up. He told me that she was acting real mad all day because Dad went away. She said that, she told him that if she couldn't hurt Daddy, she'd find the way. So I don't know if she deserves to forget.
It seems she may have already forgotten the exact. I don't know.
And as you're looking down at this, Mabel, you're going to look at this little fragile body. And the magic of the night, the strangeness of the night, and the strangeness of this situation. And you're going to flash back. You were not trampled at Ellis Island, but there was a young boy, not so dissimilar from this, that was not as lucky. An immigrant from Scotland, you think? He was trampled to death. And the body is laying in much the same way. You are going to, you are prone to quiet. So we're going to throw you into some quiet right now. Why don't we throw you into some, let's go into some, you want some madness or do you want some clarity?
Let's go madness.
Cool. This kid probably deserves some vengeance.
Perfect.
And if you take his corpse, you could probably reanimate it with another spirit. Well, with some help. And you could probably reanimate it with matter at the very least, but with a spirit even easier, and have it terrorize or kill his mom.
Does Mabel say anything about that? Because Lucy also has an idea for ruining the mother.
So you're gonna see Mabel stare at this child, and then it looks like she's not staring at this child anymore. Like she has that thousand yard stare that goes over her, and her face twinges, and you see this concerned look on her face, and it looks almost childlike, scared, as she's reliving the flashback. And then she comes back from that, and her face changes, and she's like, yeah, you're right. I say we go. Show her what she did.
Well,
I have an idea with this body, too.
well, do we need to harm the child via not letting the body rest? Or can we just make it clear it was the mother? We have her glove. She's sitting in a tea shop, neat as you please, all evening. And her child could be found right here, face down, shoved into the mud with her glove muddy next to him.
And her footprints are underneath the archway and her handprint along the wall.
I think Florrie's looking around for any spirits. And if she sees any,
Burned
especially
man
ones
is
that look
standing on the bank looking at you.
want to go attract some attention.
His flesh will split to the corner of his eyes as he grins at you. I could do that.
I think it could be quite fun.
I think we might need to get away from here, though.
Yeah, so all we have to go a party to go in a revelry to
This is
go
true.
enjoy.
Go reassure the boy.
Yeah,
Good.
let's do that. But first, and she's gonna take out her diamond knife, her letter opener, and she's going to, if I could reanimate something with matter, I'd probably have to use correspondence to make it go somewhere. Yes?
Out of line of sight, yes.
Okay. I want to cut off a pinky and have the pinky walk over and put itself in the mom's purse. Basically, she wants to plant evidence, or the mom can find the pinky on her own. Was what I was hoping to do, but
We'll just say that you can cut it off and you can like just plant it on her later.
yeah, that's fair. All right, cool.
All right. Reaching down, you will lop off a digit from the child's corpse. Okay, that's a choice. So, I've got to be getting back to my revelry. You're all welcome to come if you're, not partying. I need one of you to come back for the night, but the rest of you are welcome to come in and out for the remainder until dawn.
I'm happy to stick around.
Come back for a few. I should probably go look after the shop just in case she tries to implicate me.
I think Ed deserves to have a fun night.
Yeah, you guys can go I'm gonna go deal with this finger, and then I'll come back.
What are you doing with the finger anyway?
Don't.
I'm not gonna
Really
ask.
have
Never
to
mind. I
desecrate
don't
a
want to know.
corpse?
Mm-mm.
I mean, that's a little far, even for you, Mab.
She deserves. Do you see what she did to him?
Yeah, but
She
did he
deserves a
deserve that?
little- He's in revelry. He's
That
enjoying
doesn't mean
himself.
his body should be desecrated.
And we've got the glove, and I think that helpful wraith over there is gonna go draw some people over here soon. But you do you.
Party. We can always check.
I'll be back. Don't worry. I'll be back. I'm just gonna go give the mom a little bit more of a reason. We'll plant some evidence. It'll help. It's fine. I'll be back in like an hour.
Then let's get back to the party. And thanks for understanding. And with that, he will turn and lead some of you back to the party, and some of the rest of you to go along your way. But I think we're going to have to end game there, because that's the end of our time for this. So, with that sad and depressing note, we call to close this episode of Mage, the Ascension, the Victorian Age. I hope you've all enjoyed this. Let's go around in reverse order, say who we are, where you can find us, and let's start with Astra. Astra.
So again, I was Astra playing Alistair Gray, and you can find me on Discord at Ulzareth, and you can find my work in a bunch of the None More Dark books on Storyteller's Vault, and I've got a couple other projects coming up as well, so you can follow me there and find my stuff.
And you recently did a changeling thing, so that's pretty
Sure
topical. Yeah. Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I've been playing Mabel. And you can find me usually on Dork Tales as part of many games, because it's so much fun. And sometimes I stream on my own channel, Second Gen Gamer, on Twitch. But yeah, it was great, and I definitely have to revisit this character because I like her.
Nice. Above you, I've got Amy.
That's me. I'm Amy. I played Flory Davis. You can find me on Dork Tales regularly or occasionally on my own Twitch channel, Paradoxical Ghoul. And also, I'm really enjoying this character, and I could use a little more fleshing out, but I'm really enjoying the kind of
The chaos.
the chaos, but also just like much more preferring to interact with the non-humans than the humans angle. It's fun.
Right. And finally, Christine.
Hi, I am Christine, and I have been Lucy Gibbons. You can also find me as Lady Liliana on Twitch, where I stream myself, and also on Dork Tales. Yeah, I really enjoyed this character. I like the concept I built.
Yeah, you played it real well. You slotted into it real easy.
Streamlining, but overall, like, I enjoyed doing that, like the con artist stuff at the beginning. I was like, it probably helps that I've read several stories that are set in that sort of vibe. So I had some ideas already, but I feel like that came together really well, and I would not be averse to bringing this character back for something else more long term at some point.
Fantastic. And I've been your storyteller, Kelly. I'm a performer, writer, and the host over at Dork Tales. So if you are watching this on Plastic Age Plays, come over to Dork Tales. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and wherever you get your podcasts at a reasonable cost. And that cost is probably free. We run a Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age campaign over there, Chronicle over there, that spans 3 seasons at this point and is getting into a Murder on the Orient Express vibe right now. So I think you'd like it. And with that, we will see you later tonight for They Came From Beyond the Grave here at OPPCon. And stick around, because in just a couple minutes, it is the world premiere again of Curseborn, a new game from Onyx Path. Thanks so much, everybody, for playing with us and for watching. We'll see you later. Bye!